Tonight's meeting is focused on the use of Manresa Island as a staging yard. We will go over some general elements related to the program, but really we're focused on the use of Manresa as a water-based construction staging yard. Okay, and with that, I'll turn it over to Laura Toole from WSP, who will go over some housekeeping items.
Thanks, Jim. Tonight's meeting is recorded so that we can be completely accurate in capturing your comments and questions and concerns. This is the department's first online meeting, and we have done our best to address any technical difficulties before the meeting, but if by chance something happens, please just bear with us. We'll deal with it as quickly as possible. We ask that everybody mute their phones during the presentations so that ambient noise is not heard. You have a chat box, and that's where you would enter any questions or comments you may have. Megan Savage will be monitoring the chat box and will be at the end of the presentation asking the questions of the presenters for you. We will be at the end of the hour responding to any questions that don't happen through our website. You can go to our website, www.walkbridgect.com, and there on the Manresa Island page, there is a place to enter comments and questions. You can call the phone number. All that will be given to you at the end of the meeting. We're accepting, CTDOT is accepting questions and comments on this issue until July 3rd. And all the meeting materials are available on the website. Thank you. Back to you, Tim.
Okay, thank you, Laura. So just a general overview of the presenters tonight. Myself, Jim Fallon, I'm the engineering manager for the Walk Bridge program at Connecticut DOT. Lauren DiGiovanni from HN2B and Sarah Walker from HN2B. HN2B is our designer of record for the Walk Bridge program. So in terms of a general agenda, first we'll go through general introductions and we'll talk about the program a little bit. Then Lauren will pick it up and talk more specifically about the use of Manresa and what we're doing in terms of the lift bridge construction. And then Sarah will get into more of the details related to the environmental resources and some of the federal and state approvals and permits that are required. So this is an aerial overview of the project area. You can see the Walk Bridge in the center of the screen. This is a 4-track movable bridge, 120 years old, carrying Metro North over the Norwalk River. You can see the high towers rising above the tracks. Going over to the left, you can see the Danbury Branch going up to the north. And then obviously we have the aquarium adjacent to the Walk Bridge structure, as well as the IMAX. In the center of the screen, we have the Straffolino Bridge, Route 136 over the Norwalk River. And then you also have Veterans Park and the Visitors Dock to the right-hand side. So the Walk Bridge program consists of a multitude of projects in terms of upgrading the rail infrastructure throughout the area. Going from left to right, you'll see in the green, the work going up the Danbury Branch Dockyard project. That project is currently in construction and will be substantially complete this year. In yellow, you have the Walk Bridge project itself. The Walk Bridge program will include rail and track and catenary upgrades from the Walk Bridge all the way through Fort Point, Osborne, and East Avenue. And then to the far right, you see the 243 interlocking project. That project is also under construction. That will allow us to move trains from one track to another once we start construction. And all of these projects are being undertaken in the same duration to take advantage of track outages so that we can get all the work completed in a timely manner. So in terms of a project overview, the preferred alternative is a 240-foot vertical lift span. That was the alternative that came out during our alternatives analysis. You'll see on the far right, some of the advantages of this particular alternative in terms of construction schedule, navigation restrictions, as well as alignment with Straffolino Bridge. The environmental approvals in terms of record of decision and the finding of no significant impact were completed in 2017. And right now we're anticipating a construction duration of approximately 5 to 6 years. Now I'll turn it over to Lauren and she'll go through some of the details associated with the construction.
Thanks, Jim. So as Jim explained, the existing walk bridge is to be replaced with twin vertical lift spans. Each span will carry 2 tracks, allowing for the bridge to be built in stages. So we're able to maintain rail traffic throughout construction, as well as maintaining navigability as much as possible. To facilitate building the bridge in stages, we'll be constructing each lift span off-site and on a barge and floating it along the river into place for installation. The southern span will be installed first over a 96-hour period, and later on in construction, the north span will then be floated in and installed. To facilitate the walk bridge construction, ConnDOT requires many different land parcels for river and rail access, and staging, equipment and material storage, as well as the construction of the lift spans. Initially, ConnDOT proposed using 6890 Water Street, just south of the Straffolino Bridge, as a staging yard for construction. You can see it on the figure circled in red. Throughout the last year, our project team has been investigating various options to improve construction cost, schedule, or impact. Manresa Island has been identified as an alternative location to construct the lift spans and offers overall project improvements by moving construction activities away from the congested urban area. Manresa is about 2 nautical miles south of the walk bridge. And just like 6890 Water Street, Manresa Island would be used for construction of lift spans and material storage. Manresa is the site of the decommissioned energy power plant. So this slide just illustrates the location of Manresa Island relative to the walk bridge construction site. It's just there at the mouth of the channel. The Manresa Island parcel is divided into a northern and southern parcel. The northern parcel use is limited to site access only. Access would be from Woodward Avenue and Longshore Avenue, local roads that are primarily residential. Current traffic includes truck deliveries to warehouses located on Woodward, and Longshore Avenue is paved and wide enough to continue truck traffic. The southern parcel is where most of our use will occur. It's a developed parcel with the former energy power plant located on site, and we won't be doing anything to the current layout of the site there in terms of removing buildings or anything like that. We plan to use a small portion of this site for staging and storage, and once the lift spans are constructed, they'll be floated onto site. We plan to use both parcels for 60 months for access and material storage and potential vessel berthing in the existing slip. The active construction of the lift spans on a barge would take about up to 48 months. Figure you can see in tan the shaded access road leading down to the southern parcel, and in orange is our work area. Activities at this work area include pre-assembly of various structural components, possibly the lift span towers. We plan to fully assemble both of the lift span trusses on a barge located in the existing slip. We also may be berthing safety vessels and emergency rescue operations to support construction, as well as temporary berthing of other construction vessels and barges throughout the construction duration. The area shaded in green is what we're calling our laydown area. This section will be used for storage of materials such as pipe piles and girders, sheet piles for our marine enclosures where we'll conduct work within the river, and including transfer of materials from trucks onto the barges. We'll be doing temporary storage of components from demolition that are free from hazardous materials, such as our stone masonry and concrete debris from the existing bridge. Material will be offloaded and transferred from barge to truck for off-site disposal. We are not anticipating any dredge material to be transported to or stored on this site. And now I'll turn it over to Sarah to further discuss environmental impacts and concerns.
Thanks, Lauren. These next few slides will be a summary of the resource evaluations that were conducted at the site to determine potential impacts. As Lauren mentioned, the 5-acre area is the site of the former NRG Energy Power Plant and has been extensively developed and disturbed. As you can see in the photo on the left, where much of the area is paved with little resources, and ConnDOT will use the existing wharf area shown on the right in its condition as it is. To assess natural resources, a site evaluation was conducted by ConnDOT's Office of Environmental Planning to determine the potential for wetlands at the site. There are freshwater and tidal wetlands on the northern parcel and in the southern parcel north of the staging and storage yard, but no wetlands exist in the 5-acre area. There are intertidal flats along the western shore, but the project will not impact the intertidal area. Manresa Island is located within the 100-year floodplain. There will be minor fill in the floodplain. Before work starts, the ground surface will be covered with 6 inches of crushed stone over geotextile fabric as a separation barrier between the staging and storage yard used and the previous areas of disturbance, and it will also level the surface for the work area. The volume of fill within the tidal floodplain is not substantial enough to cause adverse impacts to the depth, velocity, or flow patterns during a storm surge event. Additionally, the project will not impact site groundwater. Potential impacts on navigation and aquatic resources were also assessed. As previously noted, the spans will be constructed on barges outside the navigation channel and then transported by barge north to the bridge site for installation. And as shown in the slide on the right, the equipment and material barges will be berthed about 300 feet outside the limit of the federal navigation channel and will not impact marine traffic in the channel. Previous coordination with and reviews were conducted with the National Marine Fisheries Service for potential impacts to Norwalk River species and essential fish habitat, and it also included the Manresa Island area. The use of the existing dock and the wharf area at Manresa will not create additional impacts to aquatic resources. Finally, the contractor has been directed to operate the barges to and from the site so that there will be no additional impact to the river bottom or increased turbidity.
ConnDOT evaluated the potential impacts of the staging and storage yard on the community. As Lauren cited, ConnDOT will acquire a construction easement from NRG Energy to use the site. The staging and storage yard will not impact existing land uses. After the project completion, the site will be restored to pre-construction conditions. Overall, there will be an increase in traffic to and from the site by about 25 round trips per day. The majority of these trips will be from the employees' use. Truck trips during peak lift span construction will be about 3 round trips per day and will generally occur Monday through Friday during regular business hours. Woodward Avenue, the main route, currently supports trucks trips to and from the warehouses that exist along the roadway. The additional 25 trips per day added to Woodward Avenue will represent less than 1% of the road's average daily traffic that's using 2017 data. The figure on the left shows the distance from the staging and storage yard to sensitive receptors in the community. That would be houses and parks. The site is located at the southern tip of the island, about 4/10 of a mile from the nearest house. Because of this distance, noise impacts due to assembly, staging, and storage activity are anticipated to be negligible.
This slide shows that the minimization and mitigation measures that would be used throughout the site. Due to state listed species in the area, which has been determined through reviews with DEEP's Division of Wildlife, special protocols and time of year restrictions will be used to avoid impacts to their habitat. These protocols and restrictions will be incorporated into the permits and the contract specifications. And as mentioned before, to provide a separation barrier between the staging and storage yard activities and the site's previous uses, a 6-inch layer of crushed stone over geotextile fabric will be installed over the entire work area before construction starts. All fuels and hazardous materials that will be securely stored in double-walled and flood-proof containers. Any lead-containing fragments from the existing bridge components will be stored in drums that will be removed at the end of each workday. In the event of a forecasted storm, containerized materials will be moved off-site, and ConnDOT will prepare a flood contingency plan as part of the permit applications. Additionally, the site will be completely fenced with a secure entrance gate. 8 federal and state approvals and permits are needed for the Walk Bridge replacement project. The permits listed here will include Manresa Island staging and storage yard as a construction use parcel. ConnDOT is in the process of verifying this use with the FTA. The reevaluation consultation also included a review of potential impacts on historic and archaeological resources at Manresa Island. ConnDOT's cultural resource staff in the Office of Environmental Planning determined that the proposed staging and storage yard would result in no historic properties affected. Due to the extensive amount of previous soil disturbance, ConnDOT staff determined that there's minimal potential to impact archaeological resources. ConnDOT has received direction from the National Marine Fisheries Service and Connecticut DEP on including the protection protocols, best management practices, and time of year restrictions in the permit applications and contract specifications. These reviews include Manresa Island. So now I'm going to turn it over to Jim for next steps.
Okay, thank you, Sarah and Lauren, for that overview. So just talking about next steps, we will continue to receive comments through July 3rd, which you can do on the website. We will be conducting a reeval consultation with FTA, anticipated to be complete around August 1st. We will be filing for our permit applications in the summer of 2020. We anticipate completion of design at the end of this year with construction to start in 2021.